Hello everybody and welcome to another Pocket Planes video. This video is, or this technique that I'm about to explain is dependent on you having first gone through my ultimate money making guide and having put some money in the bank. Down here we can see we've got over $1 billion still in the bank, and also relies on you having bought VIP. So I've tested what I'm about to show you without VIP, and it's incredibly hard. I couldn't do it, is the short answer, and we'll get into why as we go through this video. So you might be able to do it. I have some ideas on how you might be able to get through the techniques I'm going to explain, but I couldn't, and I did test it quite thoroughly, and I'm invested in the game enough that I felt it was worth buying the VIP. Now, one of the things to note, if you are going to buy the VIP, never buy it at full price. Always buy it when it's on sale. Okay, so I think it's quite a lot of money, but it's something like £18.99 if you buy it when it's on sale. And we'll actually cover some of the things that are included in VIP as well, but we'll do my technique first, or what we're about to cover, and then we'll cover some of the aspects of VIP here and what it actually means, because I don't think this is actually very, very clear. It is once you bought the VIP, but not before you buy VIP. So we will cover that. Anyway, without further ado, let's get cracking and actually do this strategy. It's very, very similar to my ultimate money making guide strategy, in that we're going to be focusing on London. London is going to be our main airport. And let's go in. And we have all of the class 3 airports unlocked. So this is an advanced strategy. I mean, I'm level 59 now. I can't remember what level I was originally. When I did this, I think I was around 55, something like that. When I posted the original video, but even at that point, I had all of the class 3 airports unlocked. The only one you really need layovers in, or the only one you really need to upgrade, is London. Okay, the rest of them really don't matter. They will give a number of jobs, but it's London where you're going to be bringing all of the bucks. It's exactly the same strategy as before, but we're going to be bringing all of the bucks to London, and then from there sending those out to the other airports. Now, what you'll notice about London is that I can have 300 layovers, and the reason for 300 layovers is that this has been upgraded to be an HQ airport. So this was introduced in the previous update, where you had the ability to upgrade airports to HQs. I would suggest you actually upgrade only class 3 airports, although I do believe you can upgrade class 1s and class 2s to HQs, but their number of jobs and their number of layovers increases, but won't get up to, I think, the levels that we see here, 300. So 300 on a class 3. We want to do this at London. You could use Paris. So if you're particularly Parisian then orientated, then yeah, by all means you could use Paris to do it. And there's a slight difference with the previous technique, in that we're not going to be hopping through Paris. Do you remember before we were filling up with bucks and London, Paris, and then hopping through to London? That was to get back to London as quickly as possible. I've tried some different variations of this, where I have, and I'll cover them as we go, done different techniques to what I'm about to describe. But yeah, this is what I found works. Okay, first thing is, obviously, having first completed the original buck strategy, we've got a lot of money. We were able to buy a lot of plane slots, and I've got 50 plane slots. I like Cyclones. I know there are Cloudliners, but they're not equal for passengers and cargo. And statistically speaking, passengers and cargo are going to be deployed roughly 50-50 throughout the map. So you could do it, but I found that you got imbalances with cloudliners. And I have also seen techniques that say run the cloudliners in pairs, where you have a cloudliner P and a cloudliner C. I think that just takes twice as long to load, to be honest. So I think the most efficient plane is a Cyclone. It's a Cyclone M, 6 passengers, 6 cargo, very versatile, loads relatively quickly, and this will feed into this strategy as well. And you're able to get to the destinations that you need to far quicker. So, I mean, let's start, right? So the first plane here, we've got a plane that's full. It's sitting at Manila. Let's switch over to the stylus. Oh, one of the things you get with VIP is you get $3. That's what $3 offers means. So every 5 minutes, you get 3 free bucks. Potentially, that is 30 bucks per minute. Three? Hang on, where's my calculator? 60 divided by 5. So it's 12 times 3 equals $36 per hour. Now you won't get $36 per hour, but because you'll have a delay in picking that up. But the point is that it's $30 probably per hour just from playing the game. If you're non-VIP, then that's just some coins, and I think it's every 30 minutes or something like that. You do, even if you bought VIP, you still need to engage with advertising. And I'll explain that later. And we won't actually at the moment, and I'll tell you why. I can't figure out how to get this off. Yeah, maybe the next time it comes up, we'll see if I can get it off. I've got it. There's an option to set, so it just shows me that. But the adverts that come up the video offers that you get every 6 hours, those will bring up the button if you don't go through the adverts. So you still have to go through the advertising even if you're a VIP. But for the most part, we don't generally engage with it. Anyway, right. This plane is at Manila and it is fully loaded. Let's find out. It's just randomly, right? Randomly loaded. And it is all bucks, right? That is the difference with this strategy. We're going to wait here at this location and always send back planes that are fully loaded with bucks. Whereas before we were doing London, Paris and bucks, we're doing only bucks. So I'd like to call this strategy only bucks. Okay, we don't care which bucks, because each one of these bucks, even a 1, is worth a significant coin value. You can see we've got 76,000 bucks here. So since the last video, I've done the strategy again. That was what enabled me to do this video, to demonstrate to you that this actually works. At a base level, $1 is worth 500, but you can trade in a maximum of 65,000 for 2.145 billion coins, right? There is no faster way to make money in this game than doing this. I'm absolutely 100% certain of that. If you do bucks, you'll earn money. It is the way to earn money in this game. Even one is 33, $1, 33,000 coins. If you look at, this isn't actually correct, but it says here that my most profitable plane is AEM01 at 28,000. That's not true. I think I got a Cloudliner that I managed to get 38,000 on, right? But the Cloudliner's not out, so it's showing the plane that I have deployed. Its maximum profitability. But we're not going to make money at all with this strategy, right? And we'll demonstrate that. This is why you need to have done the first strategy. So Manila, we're going to be flying fully loaded back to London. Now from Manila, actually Tehran would be the straightest route. However, I don't want to drop the bucks in Tehran. I want to take them back to London. So I'm going to go via Istanbul. We're not going to go via Paris. We're going to go straight to London. So London is always sacrificial. You're never going to get a 25% bonus on bucks deployed for London. It is what it is. You need some point to start from, right? So let's start flying that. It's quite loud. Let me turn that down a bit. Right. Let's see how that goes. Okay. Oh, that's still loud. Ooh. Oh, because I'm still on that plane. That's right. Okay. So we flip to another plane. Let's go to Bangkok. We go to Bangkok right now. So we're going to be loading at Bangkok. Full FICON. We want to pick everything. We don't care if any of these are have a storm or whatever. Like there's something going on with HMS Ark. That's another thing you unlock with VIP. You unlock the aircraft carriers, and I'll also explain how I use those as well later. Okay. So, and we just go through this list. Now, the jobs refresh every 5 minutes, so you need to get through these as quickly as possible. This is now fully loaded. Here's a thing, right? So, Guangzhou there, spy documents is $4. We're carrying a 3 to London, actually. So, what I'm going to do here, we've got 4 minutes. Unless that's just refreshed, right? Let me just flip that. There's one of the things, by the way. If the jobs come up and refreshes, if you just flip the icon, the jobs, if you've got you may have more bucks to pick up. So in this case, I've got 4 minutes, 3 minutes now to get to get this bucks loaded. I want to see if I've got any other planes at Kinshasa. So if I have, then great. If I don't, then we're going to need to rejig that plane. Yeah, I don't. It's one of the things that I put in as a request as well. I'd like to see these destinations sorted by location. So all the Bangkok planes together, all the Cairo planes together, right? If they're all boarding, I want to see them all together because then I can do this. Oh, sorry. Then I can do this. Back into Kinshasa. Sorry. I'd be able to go through, load Kinshasa and then go to the next Kinshasa. But we're going to go here. Bucks. I'm going to need to drop a cargo. We'll drop that one. I always drop the lowest. We load that. We've made another bucks just by doing that. That's another 33,000 coins we've just loaded onto this plane. Potentially. So, that's now ready to go. We're going to send that back to London. Here's our free offer. Let's have a look at that. Right, vid offers, that's it. So you have to do these video offers when they come up. Otherwise, that button is always going to be on screen. So I'm going to claim that. That was a freebie. Thank you very much. Okay. Did we do Bangkok? So I'm going to forget where I am, but I'm going to flick through these very quickly. You want to get through the list as quickly as possible because you have to touch a plane every 5 minutes. If you don't, then potentially it won't show you any new passengers or cargo to load. So there's nothing worth loading there. If I had another Cairo plane, which I probably don't, then I would load that. Anyway, we're going to let's get into the flow, and then this will start to make sense. Mummies 7. So that's a cargo, 2 cargoes. We want the 2 lowest cargoes out of it. If I had another plane at Buenos Aires, I'd go to that plane and load that one. But I need to drop these, sacrifice those. These are more, so I'll take those. Karachi. No, that's Simo 2. Delhi. Okay, that's Delhi. Seoul. 5. Seoul is Sim 28. You can see my naming convention as well. Helps me tell what the plane is. So it's a Cyclone M, and it's number 20 of those that I've got. Right. Mexico City. It's 2 cargoes, so I'd want to drop a 1 there and a 2 there. Oh, that's... Yeah. Have that. No. Two. Gotcha. Right, Sim 20. So very much lose track of where I am in the list. Right, they all look the same as well. Right, Dakar. Oh, here's the thing as well. Anyway, I'll get through this and then we'll talk about that in a minute. So, events. Beijing. Lima. I want to get through the list and load as quickly as you can before the timer expires. That's a 2 passenger. That's full. Let's send that. That's fine. Back to London. Forgot where I was. Beijing. Go to Manila. Back. All right, so the jobs have reset anyway, but we're going to continue going down the list. And you can see that actually that affects you. So if you start going down a list of 47 planes, you would not get to the bottom of the list before that 4-minute job refresh happens. So there is a sweet spot probably of the maximum number of planes that you should have and the and your ability to be able to get through them in time before a job refresh. You notice here also every slot gets more and more expensive, right? So the next plane slot is 122 million, but I could actually afford that, so that's not a problem. In fact, I'm thinking once I trade in these bucks, then I may as well do that and then get some more plane slots. So I'll probably go up to 55 or even 60. And there are some other thoughts here, and it's around having redundant planes sitting at, like 2 planes sitting at each airport. Okay, let's go back to that. Now I don't remember where we were. I remember Sim 20 was one that was on. There we go. Let's go to Mexico City. No, nothing there. Beijing Sim 18. There's a 1 that's not quite full. Manila 21. There's a 4 passenger. So can we get that passenger in? Yes, we can. Not bothered about the event. I've actually done it. I did it in one evening very easily. With when you have 47 cyclones, it's very simple just to point them all at Jakarta and job done. Right. That's a 2 for a person. So if I have a 1 passenger, we'll take that out and we'll put the 2 in instead. Does that say 100% increase? Fine, okay. That's Sim 21. So Sim 21, Moscow. That's Sim 01. That was my first cyclone. Bangkok. We need a passenger 4 in there. So let's drop that 1. Load that 1. There's a 2. So if there's another 1, I know there's not. So skip that. Sim 11 that was. Now we're in London. Let's claim our bucks. Thank you very much. Now we're in London. See what I mean? Like that offer is going to come up. You're never going to get 36. You might be able to get 33 per hour. But that's really it. And 30 per hour is never going to get you 65,000, right? So it's this technique that actually does it. Okay, so we're at London. This is a plane that's been unloaded. It's sitting here idle. Now, what I'm going to do, in fact, let's do all the Londons. So I'm going to go through all these. I want to get a full load, and I'm not bothered about whether or not they're whites. And in fact, the whites help balance out the greens, because what you might have is a glut of cargo or glut of passengers. So there we go. We've got a load to Shenyang, right? So there's lots here. These are a lot of like passengers, you see. So we've got a couple of passengers here, but I'm not bothered about that. It helps iron out the situation where you end up with a glut of one particular type, either cargo or passengers. Remember, I'm using mixed load planes. So because it's all random, you don't know what you're picking up at the destination and taking to London. So it's whatever's there, right? So the law of averages will be that there will be passengers and cargo, but we do sometimes get a skew. Now, you could say, okay, well, in that case, then I'm going to leave a plane that is a cargo plane or a passenger plane at London. I've got a very different, slightly different way of dealing with that, but it still uses a mixed plane. I just use an Aero Eagle or a Maple, but I also use those for the aircraft carriers as well. Right, anyway, so that's going to Shenyang. Let's go to Shenyang. Shenyang will be by Istanbul, and you can see here my flight is going to cost me 5,688 coins. So if you were doing this and had not done my strategy first that made you a lot of money, you would lose money. In fact, getting up to 65,000 bucks this time, it cost me around 5 million in coins to be able to get there. So you're not going to make coins money, but when you do your trading, you will earn money. It blows everything out of the water, right? So we're going to fly that. Move on to the next plane. I can't remember where we were. I just need to get off that screen because it's too noisy. Here we go. Sumo 1. Oh, that's right. We're in London. So we can trip through the London ones. Where did I go there? Shenyang, wasn't it? So I can actually skip down past Shenyang because we know that's not going to be any better. There we go. We can go to Shanghai. Shanghai is probably better through Tehran. 8,000 coins that's going to cost to go there. Another one. Yeah, so once you've upgraded your HQ, you know, I've got 300 layovers here. You can have, if you take it that we have 35 airports presently, and each cyclone is 12 passengers and cargo, then you're looking at 12 times 35. It was a potential 420 layovers. Now we can only have 300, right? So there is no way that we can have a plane sitting here that, well, you can do it, but I'll explain why we don't. No way really that you can have a plane sitting here waiting to be fully loaded. You just, you bring the materials in and you try and get them out as quickly as possible. Keep that churn going. Never go right up to the limit on here because then you can't unload, right? So anyway, that was Shenyang, Shanghai, Los Angeles. Let's see if we can go to Los Angeles. We can. So let's trip off to there. You'll see when I go across here, I've placed HMS Ark. So it's an aircraft carrier. I could do a different video on aircraft carriers. I've placed it halfway between London and New York. And because of that, a fully upgraded X10 Maple Pro can actually jump from London via HMS Ark to New York. So should I need to run a Class 1 aircraft across the Atlantic, I can. That's why that's specifically situated there. Anyway, there we go. And then we go to Los Angeles, where it's going to cost us 4,000 coins. Another plane in London. So, all need to get past Los Angeles. And this is why I like to fill up London first, and then run the empty planes, all the London planes, one after the other, because it facilitates loading. You know where you are in the list. I'm going to load here until I hit a 12, right? Diane, Buenos Aires. If you click, so here's the thing, right? Wherever you click, it will load from that point down. So if I click on Katie Watson, you see it didn't select the bucks above. All right, 3 of 6. So if I want the bucks, if I selected from frames, it would select everything from there down. Okay. Similarly with nets, right? If I do from nets, it will do everything from there down, and those Ming vases don't get picked. So if I want bucks prioritized, I click the bucks that aren't layovers, and then click that, and then everything from there down will load. But we can't get a full 12, so we're not going to do this anyway. And I'm very blasé. That's a 4. We're not going to do anything with it. Let's just leave it. Let's move on, because time actually becomes the pressure. Your time being able to turn this around, not the value of things. So we've got four whites on there, but I don't care. That's going to Bangkok, which we can reach. The reason we can reach that, let's go to another plane. The reason we can reach that is because the planes, all these cyclones are fully upgraded. Well, they were fully upgraded before, right? Well, no. Part of VIP part of VIP is that you get 4 upgrade levels. Okay, actually, let's go through these. Right, access to the aircraft carriers. So you get the aircraft carriers. There are 3 of them. There are 2 Class 1s and 1 Class 2. Unique Class 2 plane, F for you, Corsair. I've never flown it, sitting in a hangar. Don't care. 2 times layovers. That's massive, right? If you've got 60 layovers in your Class 3 airports, that goes up to 120. It's still not enough to do this strategy, right? I tried it with 60. I tried it with 120. The next upgrade that you do is to HQ, and that takes you from you upgrade to HQ. That takes you from 120 to 160, and it still wasn't enough. Okay, going to 300, that was enough, and I was able to execute this strategy. I went to Bangkok, I think, didn't I? Yeah, Bangkok, because we've only got 1 layover there now. Mexico City, no. Lima, no. Dakar, no. Sao Paulo, no. Close. Kolkata, yes. Okay, so let's go to Calcutta. That's another one. Down to Calcutta. Sao Paulo, Calcutta. USS Ford I reserved for an Aero Eagle M because it's a Class 2. So the Cyclones can't load there, but the Aero Eagle can. Rio de Janeiro? No. Close. Bangalore, yes. Right. So down to Bangalore. You'll see, like, we're still at 233 layovers, right? But this becomes... Can we do Rio again? No. Bangalore, Chicago, yes. It becomes difficult to get a full load on a Cyclone, even with this number of layovers, right? So it's around about the 200 mark, which is why I say you need VIP to do this. Fly. I've forgotten where I was. Right, Mumbai. We can do this and just load some more. Remember, this is all about getting them on board. And that's ready to fly. Mumbai. So Mumbai back to London. Delhi, Istanbul. Dhaka. Lagos. Okay. So I lay over USS Midway at Lagos. So I bring that from London and drop it here. And then a Maple. Let's check that in a second. That was at Lagos. There we've got 2 planes here. There should be a Maple here. Maybe it's still in flight. Oh no, it's there, yeah. So it's landed. That flies to USS Midway. There and back. And this is positioned roughly halfway between Kinshasa, Lagos, and Rio de Janeiro. So it makes it easy for a Class 1 to get across this body of water. This sea, this ocean. Fly. And again, look, we're losing money on everything, right? We're not making a profit on any of this stuff. But it is a strategy that works. So, right, now we've got to work out. So to do an unload at London, You've got to find it and then unload that. I tend to unload all of the Londons first. Let's load Rio before I do a load, right? And the reason for that is that it puts the maximum amount of candidates into London for us to do a load on. So we're going to unload that. Keep an eye on the count. We don't want to go up. We don't want to basically partially unload a plane. So we need to keep it under 300. Unload. There's a London Maple. So the way I use the Maple here, this one is for HMS Ark. So again, we didn't get all fully loaded. We've got some whites, but I don't care. That is going to go there and back. That's a 29-minute round trip. One Maple does that. Okay. There's a reason why you do flights to the aircraft carriers. And that reason, if I go to the map, that reason is that they have a deploy distance. You can move them, but it's based on the number of deliveries you do to them. Now, one of the things is, why don't I have aircraft actually homed on the aircraft carriers? The reason for that is they're rubbish. There's very few jobs on there for you to be able to pick up to come away from it. So it's better to have the plane homed at the nearest Class 3 airport and then travel to the aircraft carrier and back than it is to sit on the aircraft carrier. I've tried it multiple times. It is this. Trust me, it's garbage sitting on an aircraft carrier. So I don't have planes homed on aircraft carriers. Anyway, where they can be moved to, because this is the point about aircraft carriers, they can be moved. Let's pick that up. They can be moved by using this redeploy button, and you will get a radius around the aircraft carrier that you can move. And if we have a look at my circle, I can go anywhere on the map. I've done so many jobs to that aircraft carrier that it can go anywhere. Go back to that and look at it again. Look at the deployment range. My deployment range is 7,380 miles, which is basically anywhere on the map. But I don't need to move them now. They're where they're sat is where I want them to be. They've been strategically positioned. They originally, HMS Ark starts to the east of England, over here. And I moved it. I flew it. I moved the ship all the way around. I can't remember if I went around the north or if I went through here. But it needs a body of water to go through, obviously, and I think that's too tight, so it won't allow you to put a ship through there. Back to the map. So I took it around the north of England, around Scotland rather, around Ireland to get to this position, and I worked out exactly where it was to land. You saw that the X10 Maple Pro, its maximum range is to HMS Ark, and that literally will just about span across to New York. Right, back on the mission. So another London, unload. London, unload. It's more. There's one boarding. That must have been one I clicked on, I think. Yeah, it is. Well, we're at 279, so we're getting close to the limit. So 290. If we drop another 12, that would be over the 300. So that is now as many layovers as we can do. And we can see we've got 1, 2, 3. That's potential 36, 48, potential 60. Oh no, that's an Aero Eagle. So check on the Aero Eagle. The Aero Eagle is to go to USS. Can't remember the name now. Yeah, but it's blue. It's Class 2. Yeah, USS Ford. So if we can get a full load going to there, fine. Okay, I will leave that there boarding. So when it's fully loaded, it will go. That's the only Aero Eagle that I'm using presently. Okay, so we can't unload those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it is 60. We've got potential 60 layovers. We may have lost some on the way because as it flies through airports, we will have to drop some. But it's what it is. Right, so now let's go and fill out with our Londons again. That's in Lagos, London. Okay, because we've done a full load, we need to start from the top again. because we don't know how many we've dropped. We've got no idea whether or not some of these are like fully loaded at the top. Well, Jakarta, we can see that isn't. Shenyang, no. Now you could sit a plane, I did this for a while, had a plane sitting at London, I just had like one loading to Tokyo and just loading with bucks. The problem with that is you get a lot of planes sitting at London, and really you want planes at remote airports loading with bucks. You want them coming back with bucks, because you only need a few planes at London. This is why you're using your layovers. Right. But that actually could counteract the issue of having too many bucks at London. Anyway, so Buenos Aires, we're fully loaded. Let's go. Oops, zoom out a bit. Another London. So we knew we got to Buenos Aires. We can scroll all the way down to Buenos Aires and then continue. Did I just miss that? Sao Paulo. I think I did. Or maybe I picked all the Buenos Aires up. Oh no, there's one. Buenos Aires, so we can go to Bangkok. Mexico City, no. Can't go to 12. Lima, yes. Let's go. Next, London. So we got to Lima. You can see one now. If you've got lots and lots and lots of planes, you can't get it all done in time. This feeds into this actually. Shop. Half price job refresh in all cities. You don't need it. Okay, because you never refresh a city. Yeah. Okay. I think the biggest value point in buying a VIP is the double layovers. With double layovers, you can do this, right? Oh, I just missed that. Let's grab that. And where did we go? We were going to Lima. So we just did Lima, so we'll go past Lima. There's Lima. Dhaka? I don't think we can get Dhaka. No. Sao Paulo. Close. Kolkata. See, and I'm not thinking, right? I'm not micromanaging the planes. I'm literally just select all from the top green. Does it load? If it loads, I go. It's around turnaround and getting the maximum amount of bucks that you can out with each run. And I remember saying this before. I said for each one of these ones, that's a 25% increase. Of course, it's not. It's a 100% increase because each bucks when you're fully loaded gets doubled up, right? Gets a 25% increase. So a 1 becomes a 2. 1 becomes a 2, that's a 100% increase on that. So a 1 is worth it. And if you consider that $1 is 33,000 coins, then that is now worth 66,000 coins for that one slot. Okay, so this is why this strategy makes money. There we go. Okay, let's go to Karachi. Karachi. Next, London. So we need to get down to Karachi. Karachi, God. Yeah, New York. Shame, couldn't get that. USS Midway. No. Kinshasa. Yes. That's there. Jakarta load. So here's the thing with what I discovered during this event with Jakarta. Is we're at Jakarta, so it's topical. There is an event at Jakarta. It is a science fair. As far as the events go, I have completed the. I created, I've done 1,116. I got the skin reward for that, the Sequoia skin. Thank you very much. And I did that in one evening, easily. just divert all planes to Jakarta. Now, one of the things I thought I'll coincide this event with upgrading Jakarta to an HQ. And to upgrade to an HQ, you need to do 500 deliveries of passengers, builders, and 500 cargo. So that's building materials, right? Builders and building materials that are coming to that location. So I thought, I'll do both at the same time. But what happens is that when you have an event on a location, there are no builders or materials or HQ materials actually given to you. They're not there. They're not in any of the airports. So you're not able to synergize and complete both at the same time. You have to do the HQ upgrades independently. You can have one HQ per region. I very much want to get Jakarta upgraded because Jakarta is a gateway to running to Sydney. If you're going to do long bucks, Sydney, Melbourne, if you're going to do long bucks runs, when I first started, my strategy was Los Angeles. Los Angeles is now an HQ. So that is upgrade. That has 300 layovers on it. But I used to do Los Angeles all the way across the map to Tokyo. Now that is a 1 hour trip in each direction. It's very profitable, but it's not as profitable as running bucks. All right, so that is why I switched over to this strategy, and I've never looked back. London Paris is smack in the middle of the map. It's 30 minutes each direction, so everything is equidistant. If the map wrapped, then Los Angeles, Paris would be a viable strategy because you'd fly from Los Angeles to Paris in the opposite direction, but not because the map is actually flat. Right, London. Where did we get to? We were down to certainly past Lima, weren't we? See, memory. Chicago, Mumbai. No. Delhi. No. Karachi, New York. USS Midway we were past. Kinshasa was where we went last. Let's see if we can get a second load to Kinshasa. No, but we got 8. Tehran. Yes. Go to Tehran. Tehran. So we get into the real bottom now. Because next one will be Lagos, not quite. Cairo, not quite. And you can see I've still got 230 layovers. There we go, Moscow, we can do Moscow. Have that. And we've still got another. So you can see 50 planes. I've got planes, I'm talking, right? So it's I'm not going as fast as I would if I was just playing it by myself, because I am explaining things as I go. But yeah, we were down to Cairo, weren't we? So we need to flip all the way down now. I think next is Istanbul. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You could reverse the order of this, but yeah, Moscow. Oh, let's see if we can get another Moscow load. You can see it's can be very imbalanced. Like this, load this, right? 6 passengers. Passenger, 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 passenger. So look at that. Look at that. Wow. So you do get an imbalance that could facilitate using passenger and cargo planes, but I don't. I think the law of averages is that you would end up, it will balance out. So no for Istanbul. And Paris, no. And that's it. So 230 layovers in London. And we can't get a full plane load out. If you used smaller capacity planes, such as Aero Eagle M's, you would be able to do it. But you're still constrained by the number of planes you can have, right? So you can only have, I mean, it took me that buck strategy, the initial buck strategy, to get the 2 billion that I needed to be able to get to 50 planes. And I guarantee you, let's do that let's just try and get this. I was going to say we're going to do we're going to trade in the bucks and get that money, and then look at how quickly that starts to ramp up when we buy the slots, because we'll buy the slots on this video. So that's a London. We'll see, realistically, I want to leave myself a billion float because I think that's quite cool. But those planes are going to get expensive very, very quickly. I don't know why I'll scroll in there. We've got 4 Londons. We've got a Tokyo to load. Down there. Okay. London, you're there. 257. 269. More. So they're all coming in, right? Constant churn. We need to be getting those planes loaded and back out again. London. They need another button on here. I've actually requested this. Like, there is no button that easily shows you what's loaded on here. Yeah, I'm scrolling. Got 280 layovers. What's loaded on my plane? I don't know. I can't see. Right, there needs to be another button that just shows, for a landed plane, the passengers and cargo. Right, because otherwise you're doing this, trying to find it. There's one. You need to find one, then you can press and hold, and then unload the whole thing. But if there was another button that just you could flip to the plane and you could see exactly what was loaded, then that would be much easier. It also helps in the situation where you double load, right? So, and what I mean by that is you might load it for, say, London, and then you get distracted, you go back to it, and you start loading it with Paris, and then it says it's fully loaded, but you're like, hang on a minute, I can't see what I've got that's actually messing it up. It especially happens if you forget to unload something and then fly back. So that happens to me. So I'm just a bit scatterbrained like that. But anyway, yeah, another button, please, that just shows what's loaded on the plane. The only other place you can see that is when they're in flight and you look at this thing, but you can't load and unload from that. So that's no use. Anyway, right. Back to London. Let's load and get out. And we'd gone all the way to the bottom, right? But now we've loaded up again. We can start this. I'm starting to repeat myself now, right? But it's illustrating the strategy. We start from the top. We try and get a 12. I mean, you obviously adapt this to your plane preference and your way of doing things. As I did do it with having a plane sitting here partially loaded. That way you can get more layovers in. But what I found was, let's say that Guangzhou was waiting for one passenger, I could end up with Moscow filling up the layovers. So I was like, okay. And also all my planes were sitting at London and they weren't out going and collecting bucks. So this methodology, I found, just by playing it, is the best way of doing it. But you do you. Right, so fly to Guangzhou, which is via Tehran. And that's it. Right, anyway. We've illustrated the strategy. You have found a chance to collect 1,000 coins. No thanks, don't care. But because we're going to make a lot more... Let's go to Tokyo for a second, where it's not so noisy. Because we're going to make some money, and the way we make some money is once we've got our 65,000 bucks, we go to the bank, we go left, we exchange that. Are you sure you want to exchange 65,000 bucks for 2,145,000,000 coins? Yes. I now have 3.2 billion coins. And coins are used to... What's going bing bing? Okay. Coins are used to buy slots. So let's buy some slots. That's 122 million. So let's see. I want to go to a round number. So let's say go 50 to 55. Let's see if we can get to 60. What is that? Oh, the bings are the messages. Right, add plane slot. 122. Yes. Area arrived in Bangalore. Add a plane slot. 132. These are starting to get expensive. That's another 12, well, another 10 million. 144. 156. 169. You see, we would have burnt my 1 billion easily. Oh, now where are we at to? 50. Okay, so it doesn't give us the number of slots. We've got 1, 51, 2, 3, 4. That's number 55. Okay, should we keep going? Let's go up to 60. We'll try. That's 55. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 197. 2. 202 million. Where are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? Check it. Yep. So 2 more. Right. 228 million. 245 million. I think that would be a good one. So we've now added 10 plane slots to the airline, and I've still got 1.45 billion coins. Could go further, but I think point is I would be well into, these are getting really expensive now. So like that's going to be, what? It's $250 million to buy the next plane slot. So, but the more planes you have running the buck strategy, the more turnarounds you can do, but you're still going to be constrained by that 300 layovers. So I've still got 11,000 coins. We're probably going to need some more cyclones. So I'll be looking at deploying more cyclones. Cyclone M's. And there aren't any available at the moment. But yep, that's really it. That's the strategy. It gives you plane slots. It gives you bucks. The bucks enable you to upgrade every single plane. So let's look at what I was saying earlier about the. Let's go to one that's in the hangar, for example. There's some of my cloudliners. I think you'll find these are upgraded to. There's another reason why I don't use cloudliners. There's 73 bucks per upgrade. But they're at level 3. This is what you get when you buy VIP. You get an additional level. Each level on your upgrades accounts for 5%. So this is range or distance they can fly. This is how quickly they can get there, and this is a cost reduction. So a cost reduction, but you know, I really don't care. It's like it costs me millions to fly the planes. I really don't care, because when I get my 65,000 bucks, I trade that in, and I'm immediately a multi-billionaire. Okay, so that is it. I think that's really going to wrap up this video. Thank you very much for taking the time to sit here and watch this all the way through. If you did make it to the end, great. Thank you. Well done. I hope this strategy works for you. It took me a while to work out what was actually optimal with this. Does require VIP, does require you to upgrade London, okay, or Paris. Choose one of the two. But every single bucks delivery you're going to take out of London, you want that plane to be full. You'll get the 25% bonus on it. So when it lands at the destination, even a $1 becomes a $2, and that's worth potentially 66,000 coins for those $2. Okay, so that's going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.